Let's bring in two men who worked closely with him. Mark Curry, former artist on Bad Boys label, and Rob Shooter, who was a former publicist for Sean Combs. Rob is now the host of the podcast Naughty But Nice. Mark Curry, Rob Shooter, thank you both.
Good day.
First,
good day. Yes.
Are either of you not surprised because you knew this was going on and it was only a matter of time?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I knew it was a matter of time. I just didn't know the time would be so soon. I thought it would take 80 years, 100 years for this to come about, but it's happening right before in front of our eyes. So it's like, man, it's fast. It's quick.
Now, Mark, you're saying that this is legit, that you knew this kind of stuff was going on?
Well, it depends on what you're saying about knew what kind of stuff was going on. But I can tell you about my life as being an artist on Bad Boy and the things that I've encountered as being an artist. As far as all the other allegations that he may have going on, those are just things that unfortunately he has going on in his life that we can talk about. But I didn't know that a lot of these things that he's being allegedly accused of, I didn't know that they even had anything much to do with him like that, honestly. Like,
all right, so I just want to be I want to be clear. I want to be clear about what you're saying, Mark. The allegations against him right now,
let's be clear,
are that he may be connected to a sex trafficking, drug trafficking, gun trafficking ring that may even include underage people. On that, are you shocked or are you not surprised?
Well, I'm shocked that it's happening to him, but that's just something that happens like almost every day in the community that I come from. But I'm shocked that it's happening to him. Those kind of allegations I can expect from people who are in more of a criminal activity life or lead something like, not someone like Puff. I wouldn't think that he would be involved in that.
Rob, you worked for him. You weren't an artist, so you weren't, you weren't one of his party pals. You were helping run the business. What level of shock, Rob, do you have as to the nature of these allegations and how close to Combs the allegations are, so much so that they're going into his houses, taking his kids?
I'm absolutely stunned by what went down today. I couldn't believe my eyes seeing this raid, this search of his home. I'm not here to defend Puffy as a good person. Working with him, it was very tough. He was very demanding, but I've worked with a lot of famous people who were equally as demanding. I just never saw any evidence of this. Did he like to party? Yes. Did he like to have fun? Yes. Was he terribly charming? Yes, he was. But this stuff is really serious, specific allegations. I do have pause, though. It's not just one person. It's several people that have now come forward, and I want to believe that the authorities have enough evidence or at least suspicion to justify what happened today.
Rob, did you have any indication that he liked underage women and liked getting underage women for his friends?
None at all. When I was around him, there was lots of pretty girls, lots of pretty people around him. None of them were children. None of them were underage. I saw people throw themselves at Diddy. He's a superstar. You're right in your introduction, one of the most famous people in the world, lots of money, likes to go out and be flashy. And so I think he sort of maybe opened himself up to this with how much he trusted people and how much he loved this celebrity lifestyle.
Mark Curry, guns, drugs. That was Combs known as a guy that could get you those things?
No, not for me. I mean, no. Actually, he has friends that can actually, may have connections with a few friends that may know how to do that, but I wouldn't have to ask him to do anything like that. I always just did whatever. I always had to, since working with him, man, it's been having to do everything you have to do on your own. So everything that he's going through basically is exactly what everybody else that's been around him has had to go through prison, through death. There's just a lot of things that we had to encounter. So, it's just the chicken that's coming home to roost, and this is just what happens. It's karma, but I don't wish no bad upon him. It's just exactly what it is everybody else has been going through. When I had to go through it, I had to be strong. So I had to figure out how to keep my head strong and how to keep going and how to win. So at this time, he has to figure out the same thing that he had left everyone else having to figure out in life. He has to be able to have the strength to move on and find some kind of faith somewhere. He's in trouble.
So let's talk about why you think he's in trouble. Did Combs have a reputation, Mark, for liking young women or providing underage or young women to people?
Well, what you can say is at his age, at 50, what is he, like 52 or 53? At that age, to when you're into hip hop, it's not like he's hanging around people his age. So he's always placing himself around people who are underage, because those are the people who party. So when you go to the club and you're having a party tonight at Club Live or whatever that club may be, the only people that are going to attend that party are probably young people. So his lifestyle is not allowing him to grow and become a older person or a man or whatever you may, whatever we grow to be. So I think it comes with the lifestyle that he's choosing to live. And my best advice for him would be that sometimes you have to grow up. You have to outgrow some of your ways, and you have to think different sometimes. He just never knew how to do that.
Well, if these allegations are true,
yeah,
he's going to have a lot of time to grow behind bars because this isn't behavior. This is criminality. Did you ever have an experience, Mark, where you saw that somebody was given males or females to have sex with that were given through the company?
No, there was a such thing as like a casting couch type of thing, but that's the same thing as in the movie industry. And that's just people who are willing to do certain things. But, it was never pressure or any, you had to do this in order to be a part of the movement. It was never that. But, as far, how you treat employees or how you talk to people, if you can talk to someone crazy, you can do crazy things to a person. So you don't actually have to see people do crazy things to people. You can just listen to the way they talk to them. And the way that we talk to people, sometimes we don't have respect for them. So him as a person, does he talk to people any kind of way he feels he can? Does he do people any way he feels, and he doesn't have to answer to anyone or anything in life? Yes, he's that kind of person. And that's something that he had plenty of time to change in his life, but as a result, it's coming back on him.
Listen, I get it. We've heard that about a lot of big shots. I played basketball against Sean Combs' team many years ago. I saw how he was with them. I saw how he was on the court. But that's very different, Rob, than smacking a woman around and telling her to go have sex with people and, being a gun and drug runner.
Completely, it's night and day. Now, if I was reading today that we had some sort of like Ellen expose on Diddy, that he wasn't the nicest guy, that he maybe wasn't quite as charming, that he could be pretty tough on people he worked with, I would be like, I buy that. I experienced it. I worked for him. I have no complaints about it, but it was a really tough time working for Puffy. But there's a difference between doing that and breaking the law, and I just never, ever saw that. Not only did I not see it, to be honest, I always used to think Puffy's swagger was put on. He was the one that really wanted to be home early. You don't get to run $1 billion business and not go to bed on time. He was always early if he had to get up to do a morning show. I think it was more of a facade than actually a reality, but there's no doubt he's a tough guy, tough to work for, but I never saw anything criminal.
Hey, Mark Curry, some people are saying, you know what? If this were a white guy, a white mogul, they wouldn't have gone in hot and heavy like this. This is about the stigma of hip hop and thinking that it's basically just, all gangbangers that are also making music. Do you feel like that, or do you feel like this is the kind of life that goes around and there's this kind of activities going on and it warrants this kind of attention?
Yeah, as it said, all your idols, you got to be careful who you idolize, because all your idols will get knocked down eventually. But it's in the music, so when you start listening to the music and how we're careless about the material that we put out there, especially for the younger generations and children that are growing, certain things that they're not supposed to be exposed to. Music is exposing them to things that they shouldn't be exposed to. So yes, it's been going on for a while, and it's this time, you know, he was a person that was in charge or in control over what the public or what the people listen to, and that's a very powerful position. And if you don't feed the people right, then, you know, it can be hurtful if you misuse that what he had power over. So it's
right.
Feels good, man, to see the younger generation to be able to be in control of their own future, to be able to tell what kind of music that they like, because for a long time, these same people have been the ones that's been pioneer or leading or shaping the music industry for our children to grow up. And so they're not having a chance to express themselves right because we're always in the way. You still have you have a record company that fires one executive, and then one record label hires the same executive. And all of the record executives, if you look at the history of them, they all have these same similar allegations, sexual assaults, things like that.
Right.
You got those that move to places where you can't be extradited and things like that.
I got
so
you.
It's been going on. It doesn't just start with Puff.
I'm with you. He didn't start it. He didn't end it. But I got to tell you, we've never seen anybody. You know, Suge Knight has got nothing on these allegations. I grew up loving hip hop. I grew up in Queens, New York, so like in the 70s. So it's been part of my persona for my entire life. But I've never seen somebody as big as Puff Daddy or whatever you want to call him, Sean Combs, get done like this. So, Rob, we'll see what happens. The feds better have a case because they have totally trashed this guy's reputation.
Yeah, I know him really well.
I've never seen anybody get this heavy.
Yeah, and I know him really well. He's a fighter. He's an absolute fighter. The statement that his lawyer just put out is really, really strong. And I think there's a lot of questions there. Like, it does seem like the press was tipped off. Right. The cameras were there above the house. Did they need to handcuff his sons and do it outside where we could get video of it? I don't know. I know Puff. I worked with him for a long time. I'm not defending him here, but what I am saying is that he's not going to go down without a fight.
So, look, I've been saying it, whether it's his lawyers, whether it's him, this is a very, very involved investigation. And the feds are going to have a lot of proof to make this stick against Sean Combs. And I am here for it. If his lawyers want to make the case, if he wants to come on and make the case, he has an open invitation, because this is not just one simple allegation where we need one witness. All right, I'm going to wrap. Rob, Mark, thank you very much both for your insight.